Hello dear student, welcome to our new session of circular motion, and it's your last lecture of circular motion which is in chapter motion in plane. So in last class we'll discuss if a particle is moving in a circular track. Let's suppose, dear student, this is a circular track of radius r and the particle is moving in this circular track. So if the particle is moving in circular track, then the particle carry two different accelerations. One is towards tangent called tangential acceleration, and another is towards center called centripetal acceleration. We'll also explain the formula of tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration as well. So the tangential acceleration is nothing but r alpha and the centripetal acceleration is nothing but r omega square. We'll find one more alternate equation for centripetal acceleration. It is v square by r. So if the particle is moving in circular track, then the particle carry two different accelerations. One is towards tangent and another is towards center. The tangential along tangent, the acceleration is called tangential acceleration, and along center the acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. And I already tell you, my dear student, that acceleration is achieved when velocity changes. Acceleration is achieved when velocity changes. As we know, the formula of acceleration is change in velocity with respect to time. The formula of acceleration is change in velocity with respect to time. If velocity changes, then the particle achieve acceleration. I hope you all aware with this formula. Now moving forward, we know that velocity is a vector quantity whose change depends on two factors. One is magnitude and second is direction. So if magnitude of velocity changes, then also velocity changes. In that case, acceleration is achieved by a particle. If only direction changes, then also velocity changes. In that case also the particle achieve acceleration. So my dear student, both the acceleration in circular motion works different, as I already tell you that the tangential acceleration changes the magnitude of velocity, magnitude of velocity. So if in circular motion the magnitude of velocities changes, then we'll say the particle carry tangential acceleration. And second is centripetal acceleration. So centripetal acceleration acts when the direction of velocity changes. Remember, these two things are very important to understand, that tangential acceleration acts if the magnitude of velocity changes, and if the direction of velocity changes, then the particle carry centripetal acceleration. Now moving forward, see, if the particle is moving in circular track, then we know that its velocity is always towards tangent. Its velocity is always towards tangent and it is r omega. The linear velocity, the value of linear velocity is r omega, and it always acts towards tangent. Now see, if I'll mark 3 points, let's suppose A, B, C and D. I'll mark 4 different points on this circular track, my dear student. At point A, let the velocity is towards tangent and it is r omega. Let's suppose the particle reaches after some time t at point B. Now its velocity is again towards tangent and it is r omega. Again, after some time, let's suppose the particle reaches at point C, then also its velocity is towards tangent and it is r omega. After some time t, the particle reaches at point B. Let's suppose its velocity is towards tangent and it is again r omega. Now see my dear student, at point A the direction of velocity is upward, at point B the direction of velocity is in this side, at point C the direction of velocity is downward, at point D the direction of velocity is in this side. So what we conclude? We conclude that if the particle is in circular motion, then it is but obvious that its direction of velocity always changes. Remember this thing, write down in form of note. Write down note, if the particle is in circular motion, if the particle is in circular motion, then the direction of velocity, of particle, then the direction of velocity of particle always changes. This is but obvious my dear student. Remember this point is very important, that if the particle is in circular motion, then it is but obvious that the direction of velocity in circular motion is always changes. If the direction of velocity is not changing, then the particle is not in circular motion, because without changing the direction, the particle cannot perform circular motion. So we'll discuss the nature of motion on the basis of acceleration, acceleration my dear students. So write down next heading, nature of motion on the basis of circular motion. Nature of motion on the basis of acceleration. Nature of motion on the basis of acceleration. Nature of motion on the basis of acceleration. Write down next heading. It is nature of motion on the basis of acceleration. So see my dear student, what we are talking about is, we can confine the nature of motion on the basis of tangential and centripetal acceleration. So here in this column I'll write tangential acceleration, and in this column I'll write centripetal acceleration. We know that tangential acceleration, if acting on particle, then the magnitude of velocity changes, and if centripetal acceleration is acting on particle, then direction of velocity changes. So in first case I am writing, there are 4 different cases which we have to discuss. First case is tangential acceleration is not equal to 0, but centripetal acceleration is equals to 0. Second case is tangential acceleration is equal to 0, but centripetal acceleration is not equal to 0. Third case is tangential acceleration is 0 and centripetal acceleration is also equals to 0. And fourth case is tangential acceleration is not equal to 0 and centripetal acceleration is also not equal to 0. So see my dear student, we are discussing, and I'll write here nature of motion. Nature of motion. This is very important concept dear student, which conclude your circular motion. So try to understand this concept. See, tangential acceleration is not equal to 0. First of all, you have to, fixed on a mindset that tangential acceleration is basically that acceleration which is acting on particle when magnitude of velocity is changing. If tangential acceleration is not there, then magnitude of velocity is not changing. Second thing, if I am talking about centripetal acceleration, then centripetal acceleration is acting on particle if the direction of velocity changes. And I will show you that if the particle is performing circular motion, then it is but obvious that its acceleration is its direction of velocity is always changing. If direction of velocity is not changing, then we cannot say that particle is in circular motion, because in circular motion, without changing the direction of velocity, it is not possible to perform circular motion, because at every instant the direction of velocity is changing if the particle is in circular motion. So see, tangential acceleration is not equal to 0. Tangential acceleration is not equal to 0 means tangential acceleration is acting on particle. Tangential acceleration is present on particle. So if tangential acceleration is present on particle, it means the magnitude of velocity is changing, because tangential acceleration only acts if the magnitude of velocity is changing. So tangential acceleration is not equal to 0 means tangential acceleration is present on body, and it implies that magnitude of velocity is changing. So tangential acceleration is there because it is not equal to 0. So magnitude of velocity is changes. Next, centripetal acceleration is equals to 0. So if centripetal acceleration is equals to 0, it implies centripetal acceleration is not present on body. And if centripetal acceleration is not present on body, it implies that the direction of velocity is not changing, because centripetal acceleration is 0. It means centripetal acceleration is not acting on particle. So if centripetal acceleration is not acting on particle, it implies the direction of velocity is not changing. So if direction of velocity is not changing, then the motion is not a circular motion, my dear student, because in circular motion the direction of velocity is always changes. The direction of velocity is always changes in every instant of time. So what type of motion is this? If centripetal acceleration is not there, means direction of velocity is not changing, means circular motion is not there, it is straight line motion. And tangential acceleration is there, so velocity, magnitude of velocity is changing. So I'll write here nature of motion. It is non-uniform straight line motion, my dear student. Straight line motion, because centripetal acceleration is 0. And if centripetal acceleration is 0, it implies the particle is not moving in circular motion, because in circular motion at every instant of time the direction of velocity is always changes. Moving forward, next case is tangential acceleration is 0. So if tangential acceleration is 0, it implies tangential acceleration is not present. So if tangential acceleration is not present, it implies the magnitude of velocity is not changing. So if magnitude of velocity is not changing, then the motion is called uniform motion. Moving forward, centripetal acceleration is not equal to 0. So if centripetal acceleration is not equal to 0, it implies the centripetal acceleration is acting on particle. And if centripetal acceleration is acting on particle, it implies the direction of velocity is changing. And if direction of velocity is changing, it implies the motion is circular. So we'll say tangential acceleration is not there, so uniform, and centripetal acceleration is there, means circular. So we'll say uniform circular motion. Uniform circular motion. Moving forward, tangential acceleration is 0 and centripetal acceleration is also equals to 0. So if tangential acceleration is 0, my dear student, it implies tangential acceleration is not present. If tangential acceleration is not present, means velocity, magnitude is not changing. It means uniform motion. And if centripetal acceleration is 0, again it implies centripetal acceleration is also not present on body. So if centripetal acceleration is not present on body, it means the body is not performing circular motion, because in circular motion at every instant of time the direction of velocity is changing. But here centripetal acceleration is not present, so we can say the direction of velocity is not changing. So if direction of velocity is not changing, it implies the motion is straight straight line and velocity is uniform. So uniform straight line motion. I'll write here uniform straight line motion. Moving forward, my dear student, tangential acceleration is not equal to 0. So if tangential acceleration is not equal to 0, it implies the magnitude of velocity is changing, because tangential acceleration is present, tangential acceleration is acting. So it is but obvious that if tangential acceleration is not equal to 0, it implies tangential acceleration is acting on particle, which shows the magnitude of velocity is changing. Next, centripetal acceleration is not equal to 0. So if centripetal acceleration is not equal to 0, it implies the direction of velocity is changing, because centripetal acceleration is there. So if direction of velocity is changing, it implies the particle is performing circular motion, but magnitude is changing. So we'll say non-uniform circular motion. Non-uniform circular motion. So this is all about relation between tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration on nature of motion, my dear student. I hope you all understand these concepts. That remember one thing, tangential acceleration is acting if magnitude of velocity is changing, and centripetal acceleration is acting if direction of velocity is changing. So this is all about nature of motion, or we can say nature of motion performed by particle on the basis of tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration. I hope you all understand this topic, dear student. Moving forward, write down next topic. Write down next topic. It is net acceleration. Net acceleration of the particle. Net acceleration of the particle when it is in circular motion. Net acceleration of particle when it is in circular motion. Net acceleration of particle when it is in circular motion. See, my dear student, this is our circular track and the radius of circular track is r. The particle is moving in this circular track. So we know that if particle is moving in circular track, then the particle achieves two acceleration. One is towards tangent, called tangential acceleration, and other is towards center, called centripetal acceleration. Now see, my dear student, from here two vector quantity lies in different direction from same point. Two vector quantity, because we know that acceleration is a vector quantity. So one vector is in this side and another vector is in this side from same point. So the application of vector says, if from a single point in two different direction vector is lying, then we have to make it its resultant. So net acceleration must be between tangential and centripetal acceleration, and the net acceleration is under root AC square plus AT square. So net acceleration is equals to under root AC. We know that the value of centripetal acceleration, is r omega square, and value of tangential acceleration is r alpha. So it is r omega square and r alpha. So r omega square plus r alpha and its square, r omega square square. So a net is equals to under root r square omega raised power 4 plus r square alpha square. So if I take r square common, then it will be a net is equals to r comes out from root, so under root omega raised power 4 plus alpha square. This is the value of net acceleration when the particle is performing circular motion. Remember my dear student, this is the application of vector, that if from a single point vector lies in two different direction, then we have to make the resultant vector, and resultant vector of two vector is always lies between the vectors. So one direction of the acceleration is in this side, another is in this side. So this will be the net acceleration of the particle when it is performing circular motion, and it is r omega square, or we can say ac square plus at square. Moving forward, if I am interested to find the direction of resultant vector, I'll write the direction of net acceleration. The direction of net acceleration, that is, the net acceleration is acting in this side. Let's suppose this net acceleration is making some angle, let's suppose phi. So direction means to find its tan theta. Direction means, my dear student, to find the tan theta of the resultant vector. So I'll write here, it is tan phi, which is equals to, we know that there is a value Pandit Bhadri Prasad Har Har Bhole Sona Chandi Tole. Tan theta is nothing but perpendicular upon, my dear student, base. So perpendicular upon base. So perpendicular is nothing but, because this phi angle is made with this tangential acceleration, so this become base and this is perpendicular. So I'll write AC by AT. So tan phi is equals to, AC is nothing but r omega square upon it is r alpha. So r get cancelled. So tan phi is equals to omega square by alpha. So phi is nothing but tan inverse omega square by phi. This is the direction of resultant vector, or we can say resultant acceleration, or we can say net acceleration when the particle is moving in circular track. So write down, my dear student, then we'll move forward. This is all about circular motion. Here the circular motion is ended. Now we'll perform some numericals. Write down fast, then we'll move towards some numericals. Before starting numericals, you have to understand some units. You have to understand some units. It is, write down next heading, units use in circular motion. 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 So some of the units which we'll use in circular motion is, first of all, units use in circular motion. First is angular displacement. Angular displacement. The unit of angular displacement is, my dear student, radian. Remember this thing, unit of angular displacement is radian. Moving forward, omega, which is angular velocity, and its formula is theta by t. So theta means angular displacement, it is radian, and time is second. So the unit of omega, that is angular velocity, is radian per second. Moving forward, third is alpha. Alpha means angular acceleration, and if we are talking about angular acceleration, it is omega by t. So omega is angular velocity upon t is time. So radian per second square is the SI unit of alpha. Alpha means angular displacement. Moving forward, my dear student, there is also one term called 1 revolution per second. Next is 1 revolution per second. 1 revolution means complete one circle. One revolution means, remember my dear student, complete one circle. So one revolution will be 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. Remember this thing, one revolution means 2 pi by t. 2 pi means complete circle. One revolution means, remember my dear student, completing one circle. So one revolution per second is nothing but 2 pi by t. 2 pi by t. Remember this thing, 2 pi by t is said to be one revolution per second. There is one more term called frequency. Fifth is frequency. So frequency is represented by nu and it is reciprocal of time period. Frequency is nothing but reciprocal of time periods. Remember this thing, frequency is nothing but reciprocal of time period. And if I am talking about time period, my dear student, let's move forward. If I am talking about time period, then speed, we know that speed is equals to distance upon time. Distance upon time. Speed is equals to distance upon time. So I'll write here, speed is equals to distance upon time means 2 pi by t, and in terms of frequency we know that 1 by t is nothing but a frequency. So speed can also write 2 pi nu, which is also called frequency, because 1 by time period is nothing but frequency. So I hope you all understand these topics, these formulas which we'll use. Now moving forward, write down some numericals. Here the all basic concepts of circular motion, my dear student, is completed. So write down a numerical, write down, calculate the angular velocity speed, write down, calculate the angular speed, calculate the angular speed, calculate the angular speed of flywheel, calculate the angular speed of flywheel, calculate the angular speed of flywheel making 420 revolution, making 420 revolution per minute, 420 revolution per minute. Calculate the angular speed of flywheel making 420 revolution per minute. See, revolution per minute means this is frequency. Remember, revolution per minute means my dear student, frequency. Remember this thing, revolution per minute means frequency. So frequency is given, it is 420 revolution per minute. So frequency is equals to 420 revolution per minute means 420 by 60. So get cancelled. So it is 2 3s are 6, 2 2s are 4, 2 1s are 2, 21 by 3. Frequency is equals to 21 by 3. Moving forward, they are asking for angular speed of flywheel. So angular speed is nothing but omega, and we know that omega is 2 pi into frequency. So omega is equals to 2 pi, pi means 22 by 7. So 22 by 7 multiply, frequency is there 21 by 3. So find the relation, find the answer of omega. It is 44 radian per second. So omega is 44 radian per second. This is the value of angular velocity of flywheel. I hope you all understand. Moving forward, next question. You have to remember this thing, revolution per minute is nothing but frequency, and frequency is in per minute, so we'll divide it by 60, and omega is nothing but angular speed. So angular speed is here in previous corner of this lecture. I'll tell you that frequency can be right in angular velocity is also in terms of, angular speed is also in terms of frequency. So 2 pi into frequency is the formula of angular speed in terms of frequency. Moving forward, my dear student, write down next question. A body of mass 10 kg a body of mass 10 kg revolves in a circle, a body of mass 10 kg revolves in a circle of radius 0.40 meter, making 1000 revolution, making 1000 revolution per minute, calculate its linear velocity, and centripetal acceleration, I'm repeating once again. A body of mass 10 kg revolves in a circle. So in question they are saying a body is there whose mass is 10 kg and the body is revolving in circle whose diameter is given, my dear student, and diameter is 0.40 meter. So if I am talking about radius, then radius becomes half, so it is 0.20 meter because diameter is given, and they are saying that making 1000 revolution per minute. 1000 revolution per minute, as I already tell you, revolution per minute is nothing but frequency. So frequency is 1000 revolution per minute, means 1000 by 60, so it is 100 by 6 revolution per minute. So frequency is there. They are asking for linear velocity and centripetal acceleration. So we know that linear velocity is always x towards tangent, and it is nothing but r alpha, and second is centripetal acceleration. So centripetal acceleration is acting towards center, and it is we know that it is r omega square. So r omega square. So find first linear velocity. So linear velocity is nothing but r alpha. Linear velocity is nothing but r alpha. So find out the value. I'm sorry, r omega, not r alpha. It is r omega because r alpha is tangential acceleration. So r omega. So first we have to find the value of omega. So and second is centripetal acceleration. So it is r omega square. So you have to find first the value of omega. Omega is nothing but angular speed. So angular speed is 2 pi into frequency. So omega is equals to 2 into 22 by 7 multiply 100 by 6. This is the value of omega. Now put it on this formula, and on this formula you will get value of linear velocity and centripetal acceleration. So linear velocity is r omega. So r is 0.20 multiply omega is 2 into 22 by 7 into 100 by 6. Similarly, we will find centripetal acceleration. So centripetal acceleration is nothing but r omega square. So 0.20 multiply omega square. It is 2 square multiply 22 by 7 square multiply 100 by 6 square. So I am giving you time. Please try to solve, my dear student, by your own fast. The answer is in terms of pi. So we'll say V is 20 pi by 3 meter per second. 20 pi by 3 meter per second, and the value of centripetal acceleration is 2000 pi square by 9. 2000 pi square by 9 meter per second square. So this is the value of centripetal acceleration, and this is the value of linear velocity. I hope you all understand the concept. Moving forward, my dear student, write down next question. Write down what is the angular velocity of a second hand what is the angular velocity of a second hand and minute hand of a clock? What is the angular velocity of second hand and minute hand of a clock? So this question is basically, my dear student, your homework. So from here we'll ended our circular motion. I hope you all understand circular motion, my dear student. In next lecture we'll discuss projectile motion on inclined plane, then we'll discuss basic law of vector, and our chapter will be ended. So try to make your proper notes, revise it again and again, and try to solve more and more numericals so that you'll get some perfect result for physics. So thank you so much, dear students. Stay home, stay safe, take care, enjoy your study. Thank you.